Hi guys, it's Granny Tana speaking. Welcome to this FS25 video about all the new functions of FS25 that I know of. So I would love to say those are all the functions, but we don't know about all the functions yet. Some of them will only come up when we can play the game, and maybe I have missed one of the news. I was very busy collecting all the news together, so I think you will get most of the new functions of FS25 in this video in a rather short form. Yeah, so let's just start. Oh, before I should say, the gameplay functions of FS22 will be in FS25 more or less, and also the gameplay functions from the Platinum and the Premium expansion. So those are extended forestry functions and this vegetable stuff. Okay, but now the game will be released on 12th of November 2024. And when you have the Giants version bought directly at Giants, you will get it at midnight Central Europe time. And at Steam, you will get it later. And the game will be released for PC, Mac, PS5 and Xbox X and S. Not for the old consoles, so no PS4 and no Xbox One. And the Season Pass 1 is already available for pre-order. You can buy it in a bundle together with the game as the Year 1 bundle. And now I go through all the categories of gameplay functions, and here we are at the animals. And for me, the most important feature will be we get young animals, and we have 3 age stages for each type of animals. So we have little calves, a little bit bigger calves, and adult cows, for example. And we can build pastures ourselves in-game. Without modding and such, you just build the special fence, and then you have a pasture and you can bring your animals there. And the grazing animals will graze on everything that is grass. So when you have your self-made pastures, or also in the barns, when you have an outdoor area with grass growing, they will graze on this and eat from this, but obviously only in the summer, autumn and springtime, not in the winter. And we get 2 new species of animals. One of them is the water buffalo. Here we see all 3 age stages, and you can keep them like cows more or less, and they give you buffalo milk, and you can make certain products out of it, which will be bottled buffalo milk and mozzarella. And then we get goats. Here you can see all the 3 stages, and you can keep them like sheep more or less. They give you goat milk, and the products out of this goat milk are bottled goat milk and goat cheese. And now about the maps. We will get 3 maps. The American map will be Riverbend Springs, and you can see the PDA map of Riverbend Springs on this image. And the Asian map is called Hutan Pai, and the European map will be Sri Lanka that we already had with the premium expansion of FS22. It will be converted to FS25, but it will stay more or less the same as far as I know. Here we have an image of Riverbend Springs, which is very, very typical. It is located in the area at Missouri and Arkansas, so more or less. Giants always make maps that are inspired by a region. They are not exactly one location, but a whole region. They take the typical features of them. And therefore we have a lot of water, because in this area we have a lot of those winding rivers, a whole bunch of them. If you haven't seen it, maybe you should go to Google Maps and have a look. It's amazing. It's not only in the Mississippi that is making curve after curve, but also a whole lot of other rivers. And therefore this is really typical. And with the river we get ferries, and you can see a tractor on the ferry on this image, and now it has to wait because there is a ship coming, and then the ferry can cross the river. And we will have a bunch of projects that will need to work in forestry, so like toy tractors and coaches and repairing big buildings with trees. And this is a typical image of the East Asian map, Hutan Pai, and it's located at the coast, and it has a city, and in the night it is everything shining with a lot of colorful signs. And the map has a highway, and there is a big temple project. And we will get interactive NPCs. This is Grandpa Walter, and you can make different kind of stuff with the NPCs. You can have small talk with some of them. Some of them give you information, like in a tutorial, and others can give you contracts. And Grandpa Walter is the former owner of the farm that we own on Riverbend Springs when we play as new farmer. And we will have third-person view. We didn't hear much about how this will work. We only got a lot of images with a third person running or walking around. And sooner or later it was confirmed, yes, there will be third-person view, but we didn't had a blog post about it. And so this third-person view works outside of the tractor. Inside of the tractor we already had it in a way, and you can switch between third-person, like we can see here, and first-person, like we had before. It's always switchable. And we get weather events, and yeah, the most impressive one will be a twister. This is a tornado. Wow, and do you hear this? So this terrible loud noise was an airplane that flew very, very fast above our house. Usually that's not more allowed in our region, but sometimes it still happens. And yeah, but now it's gone. So about the twister. It's about tornadoes, but they don't have this very, very big tornadoes like the size 5 category or so, but more on the smaller side, like the maybe 1, 2, or 3 size. And therefore they thought, oh, we don't call them tornado, because we don't want to scare them, and therefore we call them twister. Maybe you know the movie about Twister, and that was about the very, very big tornadoes. Okay, so they are twisters, and then we will have hail, and both will destruct crop and forest. And it's still an unconfirmed rumor that it will also destroy certain buildings. And usually such a twister will come once per year, and if you don't like them, you can turn them off. And there will also be fog, especially in the morning and in the evening, and depending on the season, and close to the water down there it will be stronger than in other areas, and you can't switch it off, but you can fast forward to lunchtime and then it should be gone. And we get 5 new fruit types, which is quite a lot. 2 types of rice, this will be rice and long grain rice, and we get spinach, peas and green beans. And here we see a rice planter. And the rice, which could be called a round grain rice also, this is the kind of rice that is grown with the typical Asian way to grow rice. And the plants of the rice are pre-grown in the greenhouses, and then you take this funny machine and plant them into the water in the field that is already flooded, and then you have to flood this field daily that it doesn't fall dry. And when it's harvest ready, you let it fall dry and you harvest it with a special harvester, a small tiny harvester. You can earn quite a lot of money with it, but it's more work than the other rice, which is the long grain rice. This is more the way how rice is grown in Northern America and in Southern Europe. And you can sow it with a normal sowing machine, and you still need a rice field, but it should not be flooded in the beginning, and you just sow it, and then when it's growing you flood it daily like the other rice, and then when it's harvest ready you let the field run dry and harvest it with a normal combine harvester. And you don't earn so much money per 1,000 liters, but it's easier to grow. And then there is spinach. The special thing about the spinach is you can harvest it twice a year without replanting it. So you sow it with a normal sowing machine, then you can harvest it in June and wait till September, and then it is big again and you can harvest again, and you need a special harvester for this. And we have peas, and those peas are the fresh, green, juicy peas that are eaten by people. And there is also the possibility to grow peas, and they are harvested when they are dry. But this is not part of the game, those dry peas. And we only have this fresh, juicy, young peas. And you can sow them with a normal sowing machine. It only takes 3 months to grow, and then you need to harvest it with a special harvester. And then there are green beans, and you need a planter to grow them, a planter like for corn and for sunflowers and such. And it needs 4 months to grow, and you need another special harvester. So this is the difficult part of the 3 last crops. For each type of crop you need a dedicated type of harvester. So either you have a rather big field and rent this harvester, and it should be rather big, the field, because the rent is expensive, and therefore the rent needs to be paid by the harvest. Or you wait until you are rich and can afford those harvesters. Or you wait until there are mods with cheaper harvesters. And then a very, very good new feature is the GPS. And this GPS function makes automatic courses with headlands, and you can decide how many headlands you want. But if you don't want to decide, the game calculates the length of the vehicle and then calculates the headlands from this, because the goal is that when the harvesting or the driving stage with going up and down happens, the vehicle shouldn't make their U-turns outside the field, but only inside the field. And that makes it possible that we can plant trees and put objects rather close to the border of a field. That was not possible before. And this GPS functions works also for the helpers. So if you want your helper to mow the grass or to do the harvest or such, they can use the GPS, and therefore they work much better than before. And we have the ground deformation. This is one of the strongest wishes for a huge part of the community, that you can see it on the ground when you have driven there with your tractor. And here you see one example. And this ground deformation works on fields and also on roads and on places when it is covered with dirt. So how much this ground deformation works depends on the soil type. If you have plowed field, the ground deformation is very strong. On the dirt road, medium, and on concrete, for example, or tarmac, it's no deformation at all. And if you drive across such a ground deformation, you feel it in your tractor. It makes hobbly hop. And yeah, and we have mud on the tires, therefore we need to clean them if we want to have them clean. And overall, at the maps, the terrain has a finer resolution. This has not so much to do with the ground deformation, but more with the beauty of all maps. And yeah, you have to look twice to recognize this, but the shape of some little hills will look nicer than before. And we will have consumables. And that means if you produce bales, the wrap and the yarn and the net, they won't come automatically out of nothing. You have to buy them, put them into your baling machine, and then you can work. So we will have wrap for the silage bales, and one brand of this is Granny Wrap, a Finnish manufacturer. And we have other brands as well for the wrap and different colors. So you don't choose the color when buying the baling machine, but when buying the wrap. And we will have string for square bales and net for round bales from different brands. And maybe you remember you always had all your chainsaws in your pocket, and the spray for the forest, and the tools for brushing the horse, and every kind of tool you always had just in your pocket. And if you would imagine this, your pockets would be very bulky. And therefore they decided to give us a shed with tables, and there you can put all your chainsaws and the color spray and horse brush and so forth. And there will be building projects, smaller projects and bigger, huge projects. There will be repeatable productions, like the piano in Sri Lanka. This will come back with the map Sri Lanka. And There will be carriages in Riverbend Springs and toy tractors, so for a playground. And they all need at least wood delivered to them. And yeah, then you can produce the stuff and get money from this. When it's produced and then it disappears after a while, this is similar to the boat production in Silver Run Forest. It disappears and then you can make another one. So therefore it's a repeatable production. And there will be huge town projects like the roller coaster in Silver Run Forest, and here in Riverbend Spring we will have an old silo that is broken and you have to restore it to its former glory, and then it will be a museum for old farming equipment. And there will also be a huge playground as a town project. And on Hutan Pai there will be the temple district that needs to be built or rebuilt. And there are the buildable farmhouses, and this is one of the favorite features of a lot of players. And you can choose between different types of farmhouses. You can place them down just as the base, and then you deliver the stuff like wood, and I don't know where we get the stones and such. But you will have a list what you should deliver, and then it will be built automatically. And when it's done, the fence disappears and you can walk in, and it's pretty nicely furnished, and you have your new farmhouse. And I think this is really, really awesome, and I hope this will be moddable and not too difficult to make mods like that. And there will be fillable selling stations. And that means you don't only deliver your stuff to the selling station and you get your money and forget about it, but you can deliver your stuff and then you can see it in the boxes and baskets of those selling stations. And yeah, we didn't get much information about this, sadly, because I think this is an awesome feature. But they said something like the amounts that you can sell there are limited. So therefore, I think not all selling stations will be like that, but on every map, maybe one or two, because big farmers also need a place to sell all their bunch of stuff, the millions of liters. And those selling stations are not for millions of liters. And here we can see another of those fillable selling stations, a little kiosk they call it, and I would call it a small farm market stall or so. And here you can see it already filled with fill planes, and they offer something like tomatoes and olives and such. And they have symbols around it that are hints for new greenhouse plants. And we didn't got much more or any more information about this. Some people have seen mushroom production, mushroom greenhouses, especially on Hutan Pai, and they are not filled with a lot of light, but more close. They are dark, the mushroom greenhouses, and there will be two types of mushrooms that you can produce. But that is everything I know about it. And there are at least two more new fruit types that can probably probably be grown in the greenhouse, because they are not fruit types for the field. And those are chili and spring onions. And then you can see the other ones here, like carrots and parsnips and grapes. They can be grown on fields, and the spinach as well, but I think they can be sold there on this kiosk. And then there are also the strawberries and tomatoes, the former greenhouse plants, and I think this lettuce will come back. I think I have seen it somewhere, and yeah, why should they remove the lettuce from the game? Okay, now we are coming to the end, and there are pre-order bonuses that you get if you order in advance before the release. So you have time till Monday the 11th to pre-order. And then you get the Macon Pack, and this Macon Pack is good for swathing, which is a famous method to harvest, especially in Northern America and Northern Europe. And you get a rather small looking harvester, and you get 4 different headers with this pack. 1 harvesting header for the harvester, and where you can cut the grass the grain. You can cut the grain, and you leave a swath behind, which not only contains the straw, but also the grain. And then you let it dry. In reality, you let it dry for a certain time, and then you come with a normal combine with a special pickup, and this pickup is included in this pack, and you can pick up this special swath, and the combine does its usual work from dividing the straw from the grain, and then you have the grain and the straw. And there is also a mowing header for cutting grass for this cute machine, and there is a normal harvesting header, a grain header for normal combine harvesters in this pack. And everybody who pre-orders get this pack. And I guess when you don't pre-order, probably this will come out as a small paid DLC, but this is only my guess. But then you have to pay for this, and there won't be any vehicles in the base game that do this swathing. So if you want to work with swathing, this Macon Pack would be recommended. And modders can make mods with this swathing method, because the gameplay is included in the base game. And we don't know whether Giants will bring out additional machines for swathing into the base game. This is completely open yet. Okay, and then we have the golden New Holland CR11, and this is a combine harvester, the biggest combine harvester that New Holland ever made, and it has its brother, the red case AF11, I think it's called. They are more or less the same, but with different color and different brandings. And this New Holland CR11 will come to the base game in its normal yellow form. But if you want to have a golden combine, this one, as you can see here, you not only have to pre-order, but have to pre-order in a certain way. So when you order through Giants directly, and you, as a PC player, it's only possible for PC players, then all people who buy directly through Giants will get this New Holland CR11 in gold. And when you buy the collector's edition, I think it's also only available for PC, but you have to buy it in a shop or Amazon. You get this also. And if you later buy the season pass, you will get this also. And for everybody else who pre-orders and not buys the basic packet, but the year one bundle, which contains the first season pass and the game. Therefore it's more expensive than only the game, because the season pass is already included. Then you also get this. So if you buy the big packet, then you get the CR11. So it's a little bit complicated to get this, but yeah, if you buy the big packet, you can get it, and if you buy through Giants, you can also get it. Okay. So, and if you decide that you want to buy the game now or later, you could use the link in the description below with my partner code, and that would make me very happy. Yeah. And soon it's time that we start with the first videos. I think it's the end of the week, and I'm very, very excited about it. And then next week on Tuesday, it's time to play for everyone who has the game. And I hope we will have a lot of fun on FS25. Okay, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and all the best. Till next time. Tschüss.